Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, the most thorough Death Stranding podcast on the internet. My name is Sam Wright. I am one of your hosts, and before I introduce my other host, I've got one thing to say to you. Crispy pop right off the top, Monster San, baby. And I'm joined this week by Cole Duncan.
Also known as Definitely Not a Narcman. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm also joined this week by Zach James.
Oh, God, I got caught in a time fall.
Oh, no.
I forgot my umbrella.
I forgot we planned a bit.
Oh, my God.
Do we retcon this?
Since I'm the only one that takes this seriously, that's why I went with it.
Wow.
Zach did his homework. You know?
And that other wonderful voice you hear is Mr. Chris Hampton.
Mr. 8 out of 10, baby.
Baby. Make him say,
Oh. I like how you commit to the bit. It's
yeah.
Hey, man.
Dedication.
That's how it is in show business.
To the bit. Cranberries.
I love cranberries. Can you deliver my cranberries? Yeah. Don't drop them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. We're here to talk about Death Stranding as if it was going to be anything else. This is part 3 of our coverage of this video game, and we are going to cover some sections of this video game.
Because that's what this is. It's a podcast about video games.
Is this a video game?
Podcast?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
It's a podcast within a podcast within a video game within a podcast within another video game.
Well,
Cue the Inception sound here.
I think it cues the question: is Death Stranding actually a video game?
Whoa!
What,
dude? What?
Oh my God!
I don't want to answer that question right now because I don't have the proper mental faculties to answer that question. So I'm not going to do it.
Stick a pin in that.
Stick a pin in it. We'll come back to it later. This is maybe unprecedented. We don't have a lot of stuff to talk about like pre the show starting. So I'm just going to right up the top, bring up to you all that, we are going to be recording an outer op, for this episode. It's going to be a special edition of the podcast. It's coming out right before Christmas.
Ooh, holiday special.
Which is holiday special, but we are going to be recording it on Monday, December 16th. So if you want to get your thoughts on Death Stranding as you've played it, as you are playing it, just any thoughts that you would like to talk to us about this game, having experienced it for yourself, please email us. We want to read all as much as possible because we love you. So you have until end of day, Sunday, December 15th to get your questions and thoughts in for the show. I'm saying that because I'd like to have Monday before we record to get all of your thoughts together into a document so that we can read them and have a merry old time.
Get them in there, Bubby.
Get them in, Bubby. Get your thoughts in. Sunday, December 15th by the end of the day.
Call your mothers, Bubby.
Call your mothers, Bubby. So wow.
Actually, I do have one piece of business that's really important. I guess at the namesake of our group chat, his birthday was on the 22nd.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
Daddy Mads and his rad lads, we gotta take him out and celebrate.
We really do.
Birthday,
we really
Mads.
do.
Oh, but I don't even get a happy birthday when we were fucking recording on my birthday.
Shut up,
Gotcha.
Oh my God, you fucking fed.
What'd you just call me?
Nothing.
We went over this, Sam. Shut up. It's not true.
You're not my real dad.
Shut up, Terry. Get out of my room.
Anyway, let's just jump right into it. Make them say,
I'm trying to keep these bones inside my skin.
All right. So we are diving headfirst into episode 8, Hartman.
Bum, bum, bum.
And so this is taking place kind of immediately after everything that we figured out with Cliff. We figured out who the man is, what his whole deal is, his story, and you get an elevator ride to leave the room, and you get a flashback, one of those like BB flashbacks of Cliff, and he's being visited by a mysterious man named John. And if you're paying attention, you may or may not know who the fuck John is, but I don't know. We won't say it now. And you find out that Cliff was his captain in the military, and John was surprised to see him there. And John asks what Cliff is doing there, and he says that his wife was checking it, that they didn't want a repeat of last year. And then they hug, and John says that he didn't know that he was the husband. And so that's the flashback. It's very mysterious. It's filling in some more gaps. And now Cole.
Yes, Sam.
As of this moment, is the only person who has not beaten the Death Stranding video game.
I am just playing the game how Hideo wanted me to play it, and that is slowly,
Spare me.
Just really taking my time with it.
Just scrub
really,
life.
Just really, just savoring every little moment of this this game for this podcast.
God,
I'm doing the listeners a favor. I don't want these three over here just rushing through a masterpiece. I mean, good God.
Someone drank the Kojima Kool-Aid, the Kojima 8, if you will.
I am right now. It's Monster Sun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am too. Hey, what flavor Monster are you drinking, man?
Original. Although I forgot this was some business that we could have taken care of. They have a ginger, like a ginger beer flavored Monster now called Monster Mule. So they gave those motherfuckers their own Monster Sun.
I'm drinking the Rehab Lemonade.
What's your favorite type of Monster?
Actually, so we had this shop. Just a quick aside, we had this shop on our base in Afghanistan that sold like knockoff Afghan Monster. That shit was good.
Knockoff Afghan Monster. Was it still called Monster?
Yeah, and it looked basically the same and everything. They're real good at fucking reproducing stuff like that. But they had like these fucking crazy flavors. Like there was one that was grapefruit. There was one that was a carbonated lemonade and all that. Yeah, they were really good.
Ooh, interesting. I'd drink a grapefruit Monster.
It was interesting to say the least.
I just rediscovered the glory that is the soft drink Squirt, which is a grapefruit-based like citrus soda. So good. Anyway, so as I was saying, Cole, as the only heathen that has not beaten Death Stranding at this point, when you saw this scene, did you pinpoint who John is? Do you have a theory about who John is?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't want to bring it up because like if you say who you think it is and it's correct, we're gonna like tip our hand. But I get a feeling that you know who it is.
I get a feeling I know who it is, just on a couple things for a couple reasons.
Okay. And we will get to it pretty shortly.
Yes.
Next week we'll get into it. But yeah, so you continue your quest. You access the terminal. Hartman tells you that the next place you got to bring online is Edge Knot City.
You're almost there.
You're almost there, Bobby. But there's one more knot you have to tie, and it's Hartmans Lab and that area. And Hartman, which again, playing fast and loose with the rules of the chiral network, pops up to talk to you. Which, if he's not connected, how the fuck is he doing that?
So I have a theory on that.
Do you? Talk to me.
I think that it's because you're both wearing cuffs.
Oh.
That's what I always assumed as well.
Like the cuffs are like walkie-talkies almost?
Almost,
yeah.
It's like an iPhone. I mean,
always connected to call you mother.
yeah, that's what the cuffs are. I think it's like this like heavy-handed kind of like we're chained to each other.
Yeah. That makes sense. I like that. But yeah, so you get this order. You have to deliver Cliff's dog tags and Mama's corpse, which I did bring this up, I think, last week, that I was concerned that nobody's concerned about her body being dead, but her corpse is showing no signs of necrosis, and so Hartman wants to study it. So you have to go bring all this shit to Hartman. And yeah. Did you have any trouble getting Mama's corpse and Cliff's dog tags to the Hartman?
As a matter of fact, I did have a little bit of a bumble with this situation.
Good, because I did too.
So mine was so I went up and I went past the doctor's place, which is on the right side of that big ravine. Mm-hmm. And someone had
Zach, your story is identical to mine. I can already tell.
Someone had happened to lay down a bridge across the ravine, so I was like, "This is great." So, and I had Mama loaded onto a floating carrier. You could do that with the corpses. Makes it infinitely easier instead of getting all jelly-legged trying to carry them all around. Mm-hmm. But we're going, and I don't know if like I just had like a spasm or whatever, but all of a sudden I fucking yeeted Sam off that bridge. Or off that ladder, and down like 150-foot drop into the fucking river below. So I had to go through the whole repatriation process, and it was kind enough to spawn me on top of the cliff that's by the by where the ladder was laid down. And I'm like, oh fuck, where's all my cargo? And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And then I look and I just see the marker for where Mama's body is slowly floating down the fucking river.
I am so glad that didn't just happen to me. Because it definitely did.
Yeah. So my whole deal was I did the same thing. The difference is I had Mama on my back and I was trying to climb up these cliffs and kept on falling. And then I fucking yeeted Sam off of a ladder and down the waterfall into the ravine. As you do, lost both of my ladders.
Oh God!
And said fuck it, reloaded my safe, and just went around. And that was a much quicker, more positive experience.
Oh yeah, I totally reloaded too. I was not going to go through. I already went through one odyssey trying to get Mama to Loch-Ness Lab as it was. I wasn't about to go through a whole nother one trying to recover her from the river Styx.
No. In my defense as well, not even my defense, just stupid thought process was like, oh no, like I can't let her body get destroyed. Like she's dead. She's full on dead. Like I was worried about her well-being in that moment.
Well, I was too, and that's why I put her in the floating carrier. I was like, now I can fucking run and shit, and I don't have to worry about her.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if it's correct to say that she's dead because the character is still in the game, right? Lochna and Mama,
yes,
one and the same.
They are one.
So, like, here we have a body that is not the character anymore, but we still have this like emotional tie to it in a sense. That's why we feel bad when you yeet Mama down the mountain.
That sounds like a country song begging to be written.
Well, I mean, I do live in Nashville. Like, maybe I'll shop it around. We'll see what happens.
Please do.
Oh my God, it's so fucking.
I yeeted Mama off a mountain.
And now Mama ain't here no more.
She's got different colored eyes, and she's really not liking me.
You just like do it to the tune of Hurt, the Johnny Cash version. I hurt Mama today to see if she still feels. But yes, so we went around the other way, and we get up to Hartman's kind of lab, and it looks like a fucking supervillain's like Snow Peak penthouse.
It really does. It looks like the final scene from. It looks like like one of the final scenes from Inception when they're like in the snow
It does.
maze. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would live where
Or
he
like
lives.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know. I wouldn't want to live in the
It
mountains,
actually
but
reminded
still.
me of that. There's this level in Hitman Blood Money.
I know
it's like
exactly what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, like it's a little Playboy penthouse, kind of
Yeah.
like a riff on You
It's
Have
got
Hair,
the
but it's
angels and the devils and all that.
like- yeah, and the like one of the ways you can assassinate him is to like shoot a bullet through the glass pool that overlooks the side of
Yeah.
the mountain and all. I don't know, great level, but it reminded me of that kind of like a villainous, sultry lair or whatever in the mountains.
Yeah. Which, like, thankfully, Hartman is not that person.
Oh no, he's
But he definitely...
so pure. He's like I think one of like the more positive, trustworthy characters you come across so far.
Would you
Good
say
old nice boyman.
Would you say
Yeah.
he's pure of heart?
Boo!
No.
Boo!
I was
Boo
trying to stop you
you!
before you said it. God damn it. Anyway, so you get to this place and you deliver... You get to the terminal, but Hartman's not there to receive you, so Sam connects the Cupid and tells you to proceed in with the corpse. You walk into the room, and Hartman has it's dark in the room, and he has a bunch of weird BT mannequins all over the place.
I don't like
which
those.
is spooky.
I did not like those
No,
at
they're-
all.
Bad. And you walk into the room, and this timer appears on the screen that says 1 minute and 20 seconds until resuscitation. And the funeral march is playing, which is the third movement of Chopin's Piano Sonata No. 2 in B flat minor, in case you've been wondering. And the room is like this like really cool, like fully padded room, and then you kind of wander around for a little bit, and Hartman's the AED resuscitates him, and he sits up, and then you can see him crying, and his title screen pops on, episode 8, Hartman. And this man is big on giving you likes.
Oh, he
during
loves
this
it.
scene. Loves giving you likes. Literally every time Sam like answers a question or says anything, Hartman literally thumbs up, flashes the thumbs up, and then you get 20 likes. And there are a couple occasions where he takes them away from you, but he's very big on giving likes.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
He's not a fan of the
Yeah.
DJ move.
No, he's not. We'll talk about the DJ move. But yeah, so Sam is in here, and Hartman kind of says, look, he dies and he resurrects 60 times a day to find his family on the beach. And he says he's died at this point as he's woken up. He's been to the beach 218,549 times, which holy shit.
And I read
That's a lot of times.
I read somewhere that like someone actually went and calculated how long that total time would be.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it came out to somewhere in the area of like 9 years.
Jesus, because he goes for 3 minutes every time. So that's a lot of time that he spent on the beach. But yeah, he points at the lake, which is shaped like a heart. But the lake is actually a void out crater. And who was it that which one of you said that it was like a BT teabagged to the bottom of the lake? It was one of you motherfuckers. I think it was probably Zach.
Probably. It sounds like something I would say.
But yeah, so he kind of explains his condition. He has a unusual case of myocardial cordiformia, meaning that his heart is actually shaped kind of like
Like a symbol of a heart.
shaped heart. Yeah, like we draw like the pointed bottom with the two humps at the top, and that's what his heart's shaped like. And he's like, I'm not looking for my family to say goodbye. I'm looking for them because I don't want to spend eternity alone, and I want to find my family and move on with them. And because of all these trips and his cardiac arrest, it has malformed his heart, and people started calling him the beach scientist Hartman. And so he goes to investigate Mama's corpse, and he pulls out a tube that contains a human umbilical cord that was not given to Sam. It was smuggled by Deadman. And he says this one kind of looks more like a BT's tether. And he says, and we find out a little bit. We find out more about this cord a little bit later, but he thinks it might be Mama's umbilical cord. And he says to Sam, he tells him that his beach is special and that it's connected to other people's beaches and that he's going to find his family, even if every visit raises these new questions. And he kind of talks about these battlefields that we've been seeing with Cliff, and kind of talks about how he thinks that they are created by the regret and resentment and desire of these soldiers to remain after they die, and that the misery and hatred coming off of Cliff combined with Lou's influence creates some sort of catalyst that brings these battlefields to their world. And he says that all the evidence suggests that Higgs is the one that's pulling the strings here. And then he lays back down on the table and says, just hang out until I get back. It'll be 3 minutes. And then he dies. He goes into cardiac arrest and he goes to the beach. And so now you have 3 minutes in real time to just kind of look around the room.
This irritated the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It was just unnecessary.
Yeah, it was.
Like, fucking, and you're going to make me sit there for 3 real ass minutes with nothing to do other than just pan the camera around. I mean, I know I've said it multiple times over the last few episodes, but it's just artificial padding is all it is.
Zach, are you actually complaining about having to wait for 3 minutes?
Yes, listen, 3 minutes is a long time when I got fucking all sorts of other shit I could be doing, Chris.
Zach, there's a lot to unpack here, right, Zach? So,
oh god,
it's 3 minutes, and I think like pacing. That's an important thing. You're a writer, right? That's super important. Pacing, timing, space, and all that. And I think let's just rewind and like go back and listen to what Sam just said. But the exposition here is just like, oh, holy shit, this is a lot to unpack. And I think it's like 3 minutes for you to sit and to think about all like the exposition that you just got. It kind of explains a great deal.
So from that perspective, I can agree with you, Chris. I personally didn't need 3 minutes to unpack it. So after about 30 seconds, I was like, this is egregious. We need to move on.
Fair enough.
It's training you for some stuff that's going to happen later. I mean, listen, 3 minutes isn't bad. They gave Madonna and Justin Timberlake 4 minutes to save the world. So, I mean, if you really think about it.
Oh my god.
So
what is that a reference to?
So yeah, so you can no, don't worry about it. You can pan around the room and kind of look at well, it was a really bad joke. That's all you need to know. The people who know will groan like Colden. The people who don't can live blissfully unaware of that, how horrible that joke was. So yeah, you can look around the room and you have 3 minutes to kind of pan around the room, and you can zoom in on certain things. And if you zoom in on things, Hartman will give you likes for investigating. And I don't know if I got all of them, but these are the ones that you can zoom in on that I got. So you can zoom in on Mama's corpse, Hartman's AED, his record player, the big whale skeleton, the painting of the BT, the cryptobite painting, which will tell you that they were discovered immediately after the Death Stranding, which is interesting. Hartman's family photo, ore from the tar belt, an unknown ore from a void out, and Hartman's heart monitor. And those were all the things that I was able to zoom in on. I don't know if you guys found anything else or cared really.
I got the one for Mama's corpse and the AED.
Mm.
Yeah, I was zooming in kind of like all over the place. Like you can get the whale skeleton. You can get like all of the like the paintings in the back. There is a tiny little Ludens.
Yeah, I got the Ludens.
Little chibi Ludens on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
There's a couple like family photos for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, like you said, like you can look at like the actual like mannequins as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so after you're done with this, you get all these likes from Hartman. How he knows while he's dead, I will never know. But he wakes up and he says that he has no luck, had no luck finding them. And then this is the character trailer that we had talked about him having 21 minutes and that the cycle isn't too bad once you get used to it. And he mentions that, everything that he does in the living world is nothing more than downtime, waiting to go back to his search, and that his body is present, but his soul is on the beach, and that he's already dead, basically. And they kind of bond. Sam says that he knows the feeling, that he lost his family in an accident. And Hartman said that he read about it, and that he lost his family in an accident too, and explains his circumstance, that he was having heart surgery out of town. He wasn't in this main city, and when it looked like he was going to pull through, his wife and his daughter went to their house in the city to collect some things, and they were caught in some void outs, and he was they knocked out the power on his life support system, and he woke up on the beach. And this was that scene where he's being dragged away that we were wondering about. He wakes up on the beach, and he's gray, and he's like amongst a bunch of people that died in the void outs, and they were all walking towards the water. And he tries to ask this lady what happened, but she kind of turns and shushes him, and then she pokes his chest, and you can kind of hear the sound of like a defibrillator going off. And he regains his color, but as that's happening, he sees his wife and daughter walking into the water.
Sucked. Just
my God,
he was just like the anguish on his face.
Mm-hmm. And but he is resuscitated, and he's dragged away to the world of the living before he can get to them, and he is pleading with them not to go. And he mentions that he was brought back to life 21 minutes after his heart had stopped, and so. That kind of explains the whole I'm here for 21 minutes, I'm spending the rest of my time at the beach kind of feel. And yeah, it was that was such a, because that's the other theory we had, is that like, yeah, he's being dragged away from his family. He found his family and he was on the beach, which is true, but I don't think we realized that was the moment that he became Hartman, essentially. So,
well, what was it too that he said? He said like, I'm not living like he basically said like, my 21 minutes alive are just downtime in between me searching on the beach. Yeah. Which I thought was neat.
My body is present, but my soul is on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little touch. It's just been like, yeah, I'm not really into this. This is just killing time until I can get back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is just it's such a heartbreaking story.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting because you get an explanation here about like what the beach actually is, and like in kind of the context of the game, and it's like it's a space created by one's soul. So it's like sort of limbo between life and death, and it acts as a corridor connecting both sides.
Yep.
So I think it's interesting that like now that we know this, and knowing that like we're trying to connect strands that are connecting America, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of opening it up to the beach where Amelie is.
Yeah. So it kind of adds that little extra context, I think, that we've been kind of searching for, which is nice. It's nice to have context to things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So Sam kind of asks at this point why he's actually here, and you kind of get this explanation that the research stations around this area were researching materials from before the Death Stranding, because they're researching these fossils and all of these things that like that are clues to why the Death Stranding happened, and clues to these big 5 extinction events that occurred in the past, and they went offline. So basically your job is to bring these research stations online, and then rebuild essentially a way station that's near the tar belt, so that we can connect to Edge Knot City. And once the scientists are back online and the way station is online, Sam can get Amelie and they can continue researching. And as he's saying this, he mutes his AED at one point, and then as he's saying this, he is cut off mid-sentence because he
just dies.
Hear his timer, so he just dies. And the padding like keeps him from like hurting himself because he falls and it like expands.
I thought that was a neat touch. Like his whole room was basically designed to stop him from getting hurt.
Mm-hmm. And this is the part like, so as Die Hard Man tells him that he's fine and the padded floors absorb impact, and Sam flips over the hourglass for him because Hartman flips over this hourglass to like count the time. So Sam flips over the hourglass as he's leaving, and then Chris, what does he do as he heads out the door?
DJ Sam.
DJ Sam.
Bruh.
He rickas the funeral march and gets docked 20 likes by Hartman. And then of course Sam says, "Yeah, boy," which is wonderful.
Don't you get the 20 likes back like right at the end of the cutscene?
Immediately, the camera kind of pans over to Hartman. He's fallen over with his thumb up, and he gets 20 likes back. So I wanted to also make a note too, because like we've talked about this a little bit, and we've talked about like the chiral allergies, and like when we were talking about all the trailers before the actual coverage started. I think it's interesting to note that whenever a character is crying that they use in the trailer, it was actually legitimate tears. They were crying for a legitimate reason and not because of a chiral allergy. And I thought that was really interesting.
I like that. I like that touch.
Yeah. And yeah, so now you have to build these relays. And that he kind of tells you that the extinction of these like Cretaceous area dinosaurs, that what we know as the extinction of the dinosaurs, was one of these big 5 extinction events, and that it's important to deliver all these items. You have to deliver an antimatter bomb to dislodge some tar so they can access fossils. And yeah, going to the geologist, did you guys notice those orange BTs?
Yes.
At all?
Yes.
The ones that like.
Did anybody
I don't know how to deal
upset
with them? Because you can throw a grenade at them, like a hematic grenade, and it just doesn't do anything.
Really?
It didn't do anything for me.
I didn't mess with them, so.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they do.
I was not about to mess around with them.
No.
I was just like, orange, ooh, different color. Don't want to find out what that is.
So the geologist was kind of tense because of that, but it wasn't too tricky because once you get past the BT field, it's just up and around the corner. The orange BTs sound angrier too. They sound like the clickers from Last of Us.
Oh, I didn't even put those two together, but they do.
Yeah, they sounded like the clickers from Last of Us, which sucks. Like that. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I looked and I just saw one. I looked and that was where I first discovered, like, when the handprint goes into the ground, there's that, like, shot of tar that comes up. And, like, knowing that now, it just looked like this dude was just fucking slamming his hand into the ground over and over again.
Yeah. Sucks. There's another new, like, floaty BT in this section as well that freaked the fuck out of me, and we'll get there in a little bit, but they're introducing some new shit, and I hate it.
I was not a fan of new BTs.
Yeah. But yeah, so you get the bomb to the place, and you kind of get some sciencey stuff that chiral matter was actually found over 65 million years ago, and there's like all of these extinction events were accompanied by the appearance of beaches, and that because of what you've done for them, they're able to plot more data. And from there, you have to go to the Paleontologist, and it was a nice trek for me. Some low roar plays. It was pretty. There was nothing too difficult there.
Everything's always great when low roar plays. And
I can just get this like
every time low roar plays, I know
you can just relax.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, like just Johnny spot on with music choice for this game.
Yeah, no. Every time low roar picks up, I know that I'm like, oh, okay. Let me breathe. It's cool. I'm gonna relax a little bit, which is nice. I had a fucking so you know how we were like, Chris and Zach, you weren't on these episodes, but me and Cole, remember how we were like making fun of like the emotional moments?
Yeah.
I had one of those in this chapter.
Really?
And yeah, I did. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but like, yeah, like it finally hit me. I was like, holy shit. Okay. But yeah, so you get to the Paleontologist. There's this like ammonites down in this like ravine, and with umbilical cords you have to collect for them, and you have to use the oxygen mask, which I don't think you use at all for the rest of the game, except for in this one little spot.
I haven't.
Yeah, I use it to get the ammonites, and then I don't think I ever used it again. I don't know about you guys.
You didn't need to. This was the only place with the what was it called, the VOG?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if if it was meant to be used elsewhere, but like I never had to use it again. So you get the ammonites, you deliver to the you have to deliver them to the Evo Devo developer biologist who is studying how tar impacts different organisms, but you have to also collect some tar extraction devices on your way to her. And this is the part that this mission was stressful as
everything
shit.
about it.
So first things first, you have to go down into this like ravine area where there's just like some of like one of the biggest concentrations of BTs I've ever seen to this point. And then talk about introducing new BTs. There was a huge motherfucker.
Okay, so you saw it too. I talked to Zach about this earlier. Holy shit, right?
Yeah, I didn't see him.
You didn't? Oh my God. It was terrifying. He was fucking like, he was the size of like, he was huge.
I saw
it was like
two.
This just big guy. You saw two? I only saw one, but like one was enough. It scared the shit. Did you see this guy?
Yeah,
Chris?
I took him out.
Oh,
yeah,
I too.
Yeah, it took like 3 grenades, I think. And you got a crap ton of chiralium when you killed him. But
how the hell did I not see this guy?
I don't know. He was like right smack dab in the middle of like a section you had to like sneak around. So I don't know.
He was like, because I basically cleared this whole area out of BTs with the exception of like 2 of the orange ones. So I
didn't clear shit.
I was just tossing grenades left and right. So maybe I just inadvertently hit him and like got rid of him before I even saw him.
Maybe I cut some cords like where necessary, but I didn't.
I've only cut one cord.
Man, I love cutting cords, dude. It like
I've only cut
saved
one
my
myself.
ass. Yeah, it saved my ass in episode 9 too. Like cutting cords is like
it was in chapter 9 when I inadvertently just like I got close enough and I got the prompt and I was like, oh shit! Like I just hit it that quickly because that was the only way to indicate basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it induces a great amount of stress in me just trying to sneak up without getting caught, and like I don't know, it brings me back to like some very tense moments when I was playing Metal Gear as a kid. So I just go in there, every grenade pouch chock full of chromatics and like go crazy with the grenades everywhere I go.
Yeah. I have the hermetic grenades. I usually have a lot of them on me just in case, but like I never like, if I can help it, I don't really use them because like I've found a lot of success cutting these cords. And it's like I feel like I'm a professional doing it at this point. Like I'm Leon the professional cutting cords at BT.
I see. I'm a professional grenade thrower.
But yeah, very stressful this section. But once you kind of like get all the things and like go towards the biologist, it's just a quick walk up and you get there and she tells you about how the tar and the timefall are these like key things that happen in a post Death Stranding environment. And they're signs of extinction for those that don't adapt. And she kind of talks to us that like they use genes. We adapt because of our genes that give us an advantage, but there are also negative genes called extinction factors. And that's what extinction factors are, which like did I miss something? Did they just not explain this beyond?
No, I don't think they explained it at all.
But the whole extinction factor thing?
Yeah, because they talk about it at the beginning in the cave with Sam and Fragile, and then this is the first time I think I've heard the phrase uttered since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's referenced in some of the emails and notes and interviews you can get up to this point, but it's not.
I'm sorry, I'm not reading these emails. Like, full on.
There's a great deal of information in these.
I know, and like I think I will go back and read them. I read enough emails at work.
I'm like,
I'm sorry. I'll wrap this up real quick. I just have to say it. It's a big pet peeve of mine with games like that do that kind of thing. Like, look, I'm not trying to be this entitled gaming asshole or whatever. I paid $60 for you to tell me a story. I don't want to read the lore of your world or the backstory of your world in this kind of just dump of information that you're providing for me in emails. If you want to tell me about it, just tell me
Audio
in game.
logs.
Yes.
I was gonna say audio logs. I want to be able to listen to these things as I'm on the field. That's the one. So again, like we kind of we'll probably like do a whole episode on this, like comparing things. But like the thing that I did love about Metal Gear Solid 5 over this game is that like you can play these audio files with all this extra information as you're doing stuff. You know, which is good. And like I know a lot of people like find the reading stuff to be downtime, but you got to give people the option. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
yeah, this would have been also like if there was some sort of companion app for the game.
Sure, perfect place for it.
You know, like, but
I don't know. I don't appreciate like even if it was an audio log, like I don't like you. There's so much exposition dumping in this game anyway. Like it's not gonna like trouble me for you to like say like 3 extra lines about what the fucking extinction factor is. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't appreciate like important information being fed to me in like a fucking email or like an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like cheap, and it feels like it's like some people don't like doing that. So
yeah, I think the issue here, and I'm not saying that I agree with the choice, but it feels like the only parts that you are seeing, the information that you're given in cutscenes in the game, has nothing to do with the lore of the world or world building, but it's 100% focused on the relationships between the characters. And the stuff about like the lore and the world and like why things are the way they are, that's all like stuff you have to dig for. Because I think the story is the relationship, not the setting.
Yeah, I think that would make sense if like again like we're talking like not to like blow past all of this. Like I'm not gonna bring up any spoilers, but like you're talking about a game that like frequently expositions lore shit to you and holds you hostage many times in this game. So I don't know. It's just, it seems weird to be like, okay, now other stuff that you might be curious about, you have to dig for, as opposed to all this other stuff. It's just like, it's determining what's important. Like if you're going to bring it up, you can't just not explain it. Yes,
exactly.
You're dropping us into this world, and you're dropping us into brand new. And, you know, I don't expect to be babied, but I also expect you to follow up on your themes, you know?
Yeah, I get that. And I think that brings up the question that I raised earlier. Is Death Stranding a video game?
And
that
is interesting.
Barely.
Stuff like, well, see, stuff like this is like what makes me think that it's more like a critique on video games.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's in one sense, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, it is a video game. It is a narrative, is an interactive narrative that we are playing.
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like I keep harping on it, and I'm not trying to sound like I don't like this game. I brought this up with Zach off air because I do enjoy this game. But this is one of my big critiques about the game, is that we are kind of left in the dark with a ton of stuff. And, you know, I think it was listener Sam Lemke, Inferior Sam on the Discord, brought this up to me. He was, you know, when we were going through the whole, like, is Amelie, you know, a sister? Is she a girlfriend? Is she a wife? Ew, ew, ew. He brought it up to me. He's like, hey, just to rebut you, or just to let you know, not to rebut, just letting you know, it says pretty plainly
in an email that he's her
in
sister,
an email. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want...
Would have liked to know that, like, from the beginning.
Right, right. And that's not a hard thing to say. Like, Sam, go west and get your sister.
Help your sister, yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. That's one of my biggest gripes about the game, is that just tell me what I'm doing, or like just tell me something about the world. And I think the implication is supposed to be that, you know, so it's like Hartman has done this for what, Zach, you said like 9 years? Someone did the math? Okay. So the implication is that Sam has been living in this world for 9 years, so you shouldn't have to bring it up. Right? Like, you shouldn't have to bring up what the Death Stranding is, or what BTs are, or, like, anything in between about, like, the actual norm of this world. It is implied that you know it, and that's bullshit to me.
Yeah, it's like we're opening up a book, but it's the 5th book in the series, and you haven't read the first 4.
Right, and you're expected to understand the narrative going forward, and you're expected to understand the world. And I'm not saying that it's a bad story by any means. It's a fantastic story, and I've enjoyed it. I've loved it so far.
So, and it could have been done a lot better too if maybe they dropped little breadcrumbs here and there, but then actually like paid off on them later on. Sure,
but it's not. You know, we keep talking about the Death Stranding event that happened, and da 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 da. At what point do they actually say what the hell the Death Stranding event is?
This is
Guess
what that was.
We get that to an extent in emails. The name of the fucking game is Death Stranding. It's one of the main events that kickstarted this entire world. Why the fuck am I not being told as a player by, like, Deadman or, like, Hartman or any other NPC what the hell is going on?
And it could have been done so naturally, too, of, like, Sam, do you actually know the science behind what caused the event known as the Death Stranding?
Yes.
No,
perfect.
I don't really know
like,
that. Okay. You know,
Hartman,
quick history.
This entire arc with Hartman would have been the perfect time for something like that. He is the beach scientist. Let me learn some science stuff that isn't about umbilical cords.
Yeah.
Rant's done.
You learn
I'm
lot
sorry.
of science stuff.
I'm done. I've got it all out.
It's okay, Booby, you know.
Woosah. Thank you, Bubby.
Bubby. It's okay, Bubby.
I'm going to go call my mom. I'll be right
we'll
back.
Get you calmed down.
So you're going to go call your mom?
Yeah, she's going to calm me down. I can't do this right now. I'll be right back.
St. Joyce to the rescue.
Say hi to St. Joyce for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway.
Moving on.
Moving on. Sorry, rant over.
Big snaps.
If I could just say,
so you get
when the umbilical thing happens, this went like full, I don't know, Evangelion or something. Like, it was just weird for me, at least. I don't know why that specific thing like triggered that feeling. But I think this is
like
where,
with the umbilical cord and the
where like the sense of the story begins to change pretty dramatically from this point on.
Yeah, lots of weird. This is like where like it's been weird up to this point, but this is when the story starts getting fucking weird. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So after you deliver this stuff, though, you find the stuff out, you get the schematics for a grenade launcher. And when you get the schematics for a grenade launcher, you make a grenade launcher.
Yeah,
it's only human nature.
Yeah, and then I also wanted to bring up something as, like, I'm going back to Hartmans Lab, where you're supposed to go now. And I'm walking up this slope, and Sam says, it's like this pretty tough slope, but it's not too bad. And Sam goes, you've walked up worse. And I was like, yeah. And then I had fucking like flashbacks to bringing Mama to Mountain.
Oh yeah.
But it was a generally peaceful trip for me. Yeah. How did you guys fare getting back to Hartman?
I was fine.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing. But yeah, as you kind of return to him, and he thanks Sam for doing all the work, and mentions that he found a large quantity of chiral matter in Mama's cells. And she says that the BT there was her child, but it was also her own soul, and that they were connected by this umbilical cord. And Hartman's timer starts ticking down. He kind of shushes you for a second. And when it hits 0, nothing happens. And he says that he modified the log time so HQ will have no record of their conversation, which, whew, okay.
There's
getting into some shit.
There's a lot of like big brother moments in this that are just really like gross to think about. Like, oh, you don't want to be heard, get in the shower. Or I have to have them think I'm dead so they won't listen to what I'm saying,
Yeah. It's very weird, like the shit, like the hoops they have to go through to like make this work, which is no privacy. There's a whole fucking manifesto to be said about that kind of shit. So we won't go there. But he mentions that the umbilical cord has this message from Dead Man, and he says this umbilical cord wasn't taken from Mama; it was actually taken from Bridget. It wasn't attached to a fetus; it was just outside of her body, and Bridget told Dead Man to take care of it because apparently it was the key to unlocking the Death Stranding, and she also insisted that Die Hardman should not know. And this cord has no sign of decomposition or necrotization at all, so something's up with it. And they kind of go through some science. The cord and Mama's corpse, they have this property where they have so much chiralium in the cells, and that Bridget's cord was connected to the beach, which is what allowed it to escape the flow of time. And they're kind of like piecing these theories together, and their Death Stranding that they had was one of like a bunch of different mini events, and that they're in the middle of their like 6th big extinction event right now. And then he starts showing Sam these like pictures, like here's a woolly mammoth with an umbilical cord. Here's the Iceman. Here's like a bunch of shit that shouldn't have umbilical cords that have umbilical cords. And Sam, he asked Sam, he's like, what if they weren't frozen? They were just kind of stopped in time. And he shows another picture of a dinosaur like from 65 million years ago with an umbilical cord that hasn't decomposed. And they're just kind of talking about how like these umbilical cords are strands for the other sides, and that umbilical cords in mammals are copies of these strands that have evolved over time. And he says that that when all of this is viewed in the context of what is called the extinction entity theory, that organisms with these strands are actually extinction entities that are connected to the beach via their strands. The connection that they have allows them to bring about a Death Stranding. So now we're learning about extinction entities. And he thinks that Bridget might be an extinction entity. And then that is going to be hard to tell since her body was burned. And Sam kind of talks about how Higgs said that Amelie was an extinction entity and that she doesn't have dooms like the rest of them. And Hartman says that, look, if Bridget was an EE, her daughter might be as well. And Higgs might be counting on that since Bridget has been burned. And they mentioned that it's super, super, super important to get Amelie back, because they need to stop this from happening if they can. And yeah, now you have to get to the tar belt.
You gotta escape to LA.
Escape to LA. And this was the moment that I had that was very emotional to me, because you have to kind of cross a bunch, like some dangerous sections. So you have to cross by that area where all those BTs were. But I discovered that if you kind of stay on the very far right of the map, which is like the northwest section of the area, and like go up the side of this cliff, you can avoid the BTs.
It's the exact same way I went.
Mm-hmm. And there's also some mules that you can pass by without like much confrontation either. I didn't notice them until the last second, and they were so far away that it didn't matter. But once you get past the mules, it's kind of smooth sailing. And here is what got me.
Okay.
Is you kind of walk past these things, and you go up a little bit, and then you crest this hill, and down at the very, very, very bottom, it's so far away, you can see this cross-shaped thing, and that's the relay. And then Low Roar starts playing, and you're just going down this hill, and for some reason, like I didn't cry. Oh no, it wasn't Low Roar, it was a Silent Poets song this time for some reason.
Silent Poets.
And Yeah, it was a Silent Poet song, and just
the
like
song, Soul Asylums or Silence
Yes.
for the Feeling.
yeah. I would cue it here, but I know Low Roar won't get us, but I don't know if Silent Poets will, so I'm not going to cue it. But it's a very good song. You should look it up. But yeah, so as I'm going to the hill, the relay is so far away, and I'm just going down, and the song is playing, and I was just overcome with this like striking emotion, and I felt it in my heart, like I just did this like huge like journey, and I got to this like little section. I was so clever, and I got around all my treacherous like things without having to worry about it, and I had this like sense of accomplishment. I felt really proud, and I felt very happy, and I was just like wow, and I could like feel my heart beating. Like it just like struck me in like the most perfect way.
It does have like a kind of sense of like a catharsis. No,
Yeah.
Oh my god,
What?
Catharsis.
Catharsis.
I'm an idiot.
Gesundheit.
I'm losing it. I've been too busy calling Zach and the narc. I'm just getting my words. There's like this like wave of like just this kind of cathartic wave that kind of just comes over you because like you have gone through so much in like on the mountain, and even when we talk about the mountain in the last episode, you're still in the mountains during this entire episode, and then just coming off of it, and then just seeing just wide open space again is just so nice.
So
And like
I can't help but laugh because
and like-
you guys are describing this moment of like, you know, you guys are swelling with emotion and you're making your way slowly and all that. And then it just does a smash cut to me on the other side of the coin, just sprinting with the fucking speed skeleton with two floating carriers loaded for bear, just being like, I need to get to the next section. As I'm just running as fast as I can.
That's so funny.
way to ruin the moment. Jesus.
My guy.
My dude.
My boy, my dude,
Yeah.
my guy, my
My
brother.
bubby.
I mean, I got a similar feeling when this happened, but I just felt like also with all like the information that we just learned about the Death Stranding, the beaches and stuff like that, coming down that hill, it's kind of sad too because you're like so happy just to not be in shit, but then you realize like the whole world has just gone to shit.
Mm-hmm. It's just like it's such like weird, like it's such a positive like emotional feeling, but like you said, like it is very like melancholy as well at the same time, and it's just such a weird combination.
It's like everything in this
something-
game just has this little tap of like sadness on top of it.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like the thing of it is too is just like this. There was a very similar thing that happened. Like it was similar as far as like look how far away this thing is, and look at this beautiful like journey you have to take to get there, and it's not. There's nothing in your way now, and it's just down when you get to Port Knot for the first time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did not have the same feeling then as I did now. And I think maybe it's more or less the idea that, okay, this is where I've been trying to get this entire fucking time. So maybe that was it. But
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can also see like, you know, because at this point, the whole game has been telling you, hey, you have to get to Edge Knot City. You've got to get there. You've got to get there. And now you're going there. It's like
there, yeah.
It's like the end of a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're about to accomplish the thing that you've been trying to do for this entire game. And so I think that has something to do with it as well, because you're of the, mindset like, hey, good job, Sam, you made it.
And then just cut back to me hurtling down that slight slope.
He's doing fucking barrel rolls trying to get.
It's like that scene from Hot Rod when he's falling down the mountain.
Zach's running down the mountain doing heel clicks and cartwheels.
Oh man, I should have ridden the fucking carrier.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I didn't even think about that. God damn it!
Just Goldfingering your way all the way down.
You're on your second playthrough. When you get there this time, you have to ride the carrier down and let us know how it feels.
I will. Yeah, I've been making different choices deliberately in the second playthrough just to see if it changes the game at all. But I will say it does kind of suck when you've built up like a lot of paths and stuff, and you hit a part where you're supposed to be going slow and like listening to the Low Roar song, and you just zip line right down through it, and the song is over as soon as it started. That's a mood killer for sure.
I will say, like, so again, as we said earlier, me, Chris, and Zach have beaten the game. I didn't use the zip lines once, and I feel like I missed an opportunity.
I can never figure out how to get the damn things to work.
Well, the thing is, you have to build 2 of them so you can connect them together.
I never
almost,
built
I feel
one.
like it defeats the purpose. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a grump, but
because like I'd come across them all the time, but then I walk up and it'd just be like structure menu. It'd be like, do you want to donate things to upgrade? And it's like, no, get out of here.
I don't even know what you do here.
You've now wasted my time. Also, I don't know why this just clicked back into my memory. Apparently, you can use the urinate function on like the umbilical cords of BTs, and that'll kill them.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Thanks for telling us that, TV tropes.
I'm gonna test.
I want to piss on a mule. Like, we're already throwing the grenades at them. I want to piss on one.
Oh, I've already done that, but I definitely knocked him out first.
Oh no! I want to piss on a live one.
Hog tie him.
Oh, he's still alive. He just doesn't know what's happening to him, Bubby.
That's you didn't get consent.
He didn't get my consent to try and kick my ass and spear me. He's getting pissed on.
Sure. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
If you come here with another package, I'm gonna kick your ass. Tell you what.
Thanks, Hank. So you get down, and it's just like this really worn down like relay station. You go to the top of it and you activate it and you put it on the network with the Cupid. And Die Hardman tells you, "Great job. Now you have to cross this tar belt. Sorry, there's nothing in your PCC that can help you. Good luck."
Figure it out.
He just kind of leaves you to it. And from here, we're going to do another transition because we're going to get into the jam of the next episode.
Ooh.
Get out of my
Oh!
And this is episode 9. We won't tell you what it's called just yet. We'll get there in a second. But yeah, it's time to cross the tar belt. How long did it take you guys to figure out what the fuck you needed to do here?
Like 20 minutes.
I had to look it up.
And I have a fun story about it.
I straight up had to look it up.
Chris, how'd you do here?
Yeah, so I did pretty terribly because somebody put a zip line right outside and I zipped my way straight to the tar pit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So much for being a game about friendliness between strangers.
Mm-hmm. So on one hand, I thought this was kind of clever because it flies in the face of literally everything that you have been trained to do up to this point. But it took me about the same time as Cole. And Cole, you said mine was nowhere near as interesting because I like puzzles and I kind of piece it together over time. But Cole, you said you had a story, so I want to hear your story.
Yeah, so I spent like 10 minutes trying to like figure out like what I was like that SpongeBob meme, like the sponge guard where he's like, oh, like just like looking around for literally anything. Like I saw this one like an email that they're like, what if you threw a nuke in there? I'm like, well, I don't have one of those, but I do have grenades. So I started chucking grenades into the tar pit, and that didn't do anything. So then I figured, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk around. And so I just started walking around, and then it started raining, and I was like, uh-oh. And then BT showed up, and I was like, okay, just gonna sneak around them. Surely to God, I can just like sneak around them and get around the tar pit. So that didn't happen. And they started grabbing me, and I got out. I got out before they could bring me under.
You're so close.
I was like, okay, let's regroup. Let's try this again. So I kept on sneaking, and they got me again, and then this time, they dragged me under. And I was like, son of a bitch. And then I saw whales, and I was like, oh God, no. Oh God, no. Mm-hmm. And then buildings started picking up.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. We'll get there.
Okay.
Because so with me, I'm big into puzzles. I love solving things. And the fact that I couldn't solve this pissed me off. And I was actually almost going to look it up, but I get like in games where like there are things you can read, I like when I have like a moment, I just like stop and I go to read things. And like I just kind of like just to like get my mind off of it and come back to it in a second. And so right after you connect the relay station, you get an email from the Evo Devo biologist that mentions like when they grab you, they put you somewhere else. And I read it, and then I went back, and I kept on sneaking around for a little bit. And then as soon as I think I was sneaking around, like cutting cords of the BTs for a solid like minute, and then I was like, oh fuck. And that's when I put it together. So I just kind of let them take me, and that's what happened.
So
I wasn't that smart.
So the biggest thing for me with this is like, because it's such a radical shift in gameplay that it doesn't really hint at otherwise unless you're able to pick it up from the emails, which I did not. Because normally you're either just trying to avoid BTs, or if you're like me, you've gotten real good at throwing fastballs at them with the hematic grenades. And so, and that's what I did the first time I went through that area where it was all rainy. I cleared most of them out. I think there was like one or two left, and they were off in the distance, so I wasn't too worried about them. I was like, what do I need to do? So I ran all the way back to the damaged relay station because they had a couple generators there, so I could charge everything up. And that's when I looked it up because I could not figure it out for the life of me.
So what ultimately got you over there, Chris? Because you said you used the fucking zip line, but
no, I just I went a similar way that Zach did. I think Zach and I are kind of the grenade boys. like where Mario had Hammer Bros, we're Grenade Bros. I swear, I nade everything in this game. Like, and it's just, I don't know, it's so satisfying to like throw grenades.
If anyone knows how to do pixel art, please someone make a gif of me and Chris as the Hammer Bros throwing grenades at a BT as Mario.
Oh yeah, do it like Super Mario RPG style.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have any particular issues like solving the puzzle because I have been reading pretty much everything as I get it in the game in voracious thing. I do what my boss tells me to check my email.
Basically, yeah. I noticed a trend. I noticed a trend, and this was when it finally clicked with me that like when they give you stuff that you have no direction for, like when Die Hardman's like, figure it the fuck out, bye. Like whenever he does that to you, usually you get an email that tells you what you need to do. So like, when you go to Mountain Knot for the first time and Lochna's like, hey, fuck you, buddy, and then hangs up on you, Die Hardman's like, if you have an idea, fucking blah, blah, blah. And you get an email from Aaron Hill who tells you to talk to Mama for you, which indicates you need to go to the lab. And then you get another email that's like, that tells you that that Fragile's in the distribution center if you need to talk to her after you get the bomb in chapter 3. So they've established like, when there's no set direction for you, check your email and somebody will help you.
Now, was there an email that explicitly said Because I remember there was one where it was like, whenever they show up, buildings float up. And I was like, well, how the fuck does that help me? You know? Like,
yeah, no, that's it's the same email where she's like, maybe if we threw a nuke. I was like, okay, so throw a nuke. Like,
I think that's why I wrote it off because of the nuke line. I was like, this lady doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that, like, the thing you have to think about with these emails is that you need to pay attention to the shit that's in yellow. And the shit that was in yellow was basically when you are dragged down, they put you somewhere else, basically, is what the yellow text said. And that's what really got me, is that you have to read the yellow text and ignore the fucking bullshit around it. Because the yellow text is what's important in the email.
See, this is especially egregious for me because my whole job in real life is, like, to go through, like, just massive amounts of information and parse out the important stuff.
And that's, like, the thing of it, too, is that they do it for you with color coding. Like, so I don't know. I don't know. The email I thought was effective enough. Like, to be like being fair here. Like, it's not.
To be fair,
it's okay. I'll use to be fair.
To be fair,
it's in. To use my favorite word, it's inelegant how they do it. I just happen to like be that kind of person, so it's not like, it's not like it's a perfect system. I just happen to notice that they happen to do this whenever you don't. Whenever Die Hartman's a fuckhead and tells you to figure it out, they usually have an email that tells you what you need to do. So, yeah. But yeah. So anyway, you go against everything that you know, and you are dragged down by these BTs, and they take you to the tar covered area. And there's so many fucking whale BTs everywhere.
There's a lot of fucking free willy whales.
And it's terrifying, but I thought this was cool because it was a legitimate platforming section.
This was really well done.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. I like that they spun, like, you don't have to fight the whales. I like how they kind of spun the experiment, like this experience.
Well,
into
actually,
like a legit
I don't think you can, because like I started to at first. I was like, oh, okay, just defeat the whales and then the tar will clear and I'll be where I need to be or whatever. But if
there are so many whales
and like you barely scratch their health bar if you try to do anything, like to include using grenade launchers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part about this too is that, like, at some point Die Hardman calls you and he's like, I never would have thought to do that. UCA is in good hands. And it's just like, so it's like a big bruh moment because he's so calm about it. And it's like, fucking, do you know where I am right now?
When he said that, I audibly said out loud, yeah, no shit, me either, dude.
But yeah, how did you guys handle this? Like, I didn't, like, again, we've discussed this several times. This game isn't hard by any stretch. Like, it's not a difficult game. So I didn't feel it was challenging. I just thought not challenging, but cool is like.
So I had my
it's a really, really awesome.
I had my freshly charged speed skeleton still. So basically, we just like get to the top of one of the buildings, like the top, because you have to climb up like 3 things. And then I would just fucking sprint and jump like 40 feet and land pretty close to another one. So it made pretty short work of this section, actually.
Someone in the modding community, please, like put in the sound like from like the $1 Million Man whenever he jumps.
Yes.
Whenever you use the speed.
You know
skeleton.
what?
They have that Metal Gear Solid 5
You know what?
with the
I'll
punching.
cue that here.
Yeah, that noise right there. Please, somebody do that. I will love you forever.
Good shit. Getting to the end of this section, I fucking stopped. I filmed it, and I sent a video to Zach because you can see Amelie in the distance with her red dress, and I was like, "Nope, big fuck this moment."
Wait, hold on. I think I actually, I have. Where is it? There it is. Hold on. I'll play this live for you guys.
Oh God, hold on.
Let me turn up my volume, and here we go.
Yo, dude, fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck every second of that. God damn it. The very definitive way.
I'm pretty sure I woke up to that. Like, I was just waiting in my text messages when I woke up that morning.
I was so mad. It freaked me. I was like, fuck. I saw it and I was like, fuck me.
Yeah. I saw when I had that moment too, and my reaction was like,
"Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
You fucking bitch."
Wait.
It was fine.
Well, you see, what's funny? What's funny is
I was like,
I rolled up and I was like, "Oh, I don't like that," and then immediately I went, "Oh, Sam's really not gonna like that." I was thinking of you, Bubby.
I'm glad you wrecked. No, I don't like it, Bubby. I don't like seeing her there.
But no, it was very menacing, especially as she's doing this calm, slow, just like, I'm over here wave, you know? It's not even like that. It's not like an I'm over here wave. It's just sort of like, hey, like from across the room in a park.
I'm Sam.
Hey, I'm Sam too. Yeah, so you get past this like platforming section, you see Amelie in the water, you say fuck this, and you go towards her, and as he approaches her, he starts drowning in this the tar. And he's completely submerged by the tar, and he wakes up on the beach and he's naked again. And then of course here's Amelie singing London Bridge, and she walks towards the water and he follows her, and then he's dragged down to the seam like he was before when this happened. And he wakes up on the shore, and his stuff is scattered around, and he is approached by Higgs. And I made this observation to Zach, but like this whole thing is fucking hilarious. I sent the video, and then I sent this little tidbit, which Sam shouts, "Higgs!" And is Higgs the new liquid? Like, is that what?
I think it is. I think it's a natural successor.
So is.
Yeah, this is Kojima's. This is the new liquid. It's Higgs. But yeah. So Higgs tells Sam to keep his voice down, to not scare the poor girl away, and you turn around and there's Edge Knot City. It's here. It's in front of you, baby. And Higgs says that she's in there and that he can smell her, and that he wouldn't have known for sure if not for the chiral network.
Sweet chiral network you've been building.
Oh yeah.
And bless your heart. He says, "Bless your heart," and then he disappears.
And he says, "Bless your." He says, "Bless your heart" in the best Southern way, which is, "Damn, you're stupid, but I'm trying to be nice to you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was almost like what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio in Django.
Yeah.
Like that kind of velveteen smoothness.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said that, I was just like, "You motherfucker!"
The weird, like vaguely southern nature of Higgs just gets me.
Yeah,
because it's so subtle. Like he's trying to do southern, but like not at the same time.
Not. Yeah,
it's really weird.
But
it
comes out in those phrases. It's like because it's super kind of just bless your heart. I'm like, oh, you.
Yeah, and then right after that, he says, "And thank you kindly."
This is definitely in my top 10 Troy Baker performances. Him as Higgs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's really good in this one. Like, I really love him in this game. Higgs is such a great character.
Yeah, he is.
He is like one of my top favorite villains of all time.
But yeah, so he's this entire scene. He's like leaving his mask behind. He's like poofing, nightcrawling all over the place and bamfing all over the place. And
weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. So Sam falls to his knees and he's like grabbed by these BTs, and then Higgs appears next to him in his hood, and his mask is completely off, and you can see his like really dapper, like mom just got me a haircut look.
He's just a scruffy Troy Baker is all he is.
He's a dapper Dan man.
He's a dapper Dan man. Like his hair looks like is like when you get a new haircut and mom says, "Look at my handsome boy." Like that meme. That's what Higgs looks like with his haircut.
Yeah.
He should keep that hood on. I see why they showed him with just the hood this entire
he admits that he's not a fan of his face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I actually liked how he looked in overall appearance, with the exception of the weird rune-like things behind or across his forehead.
Well, that's the thing of it is though, he just looks like a normal dude, and that's what I'm saying.
I think that's what made it so appealing, because usually you either get these grandiose fucking, oh, look at him, you know, he's this
a
pillar
freak
of fucking manliness and all, or you get the weird Kylo Ren thing where you're just like, ugh. But with him, he was just sort of, he's just sort of a
He's a
dude.
normal guy. Yeah. What he does is he tells Sam to be careful, that the contents of the world are fragile, and that Higgs says that he's no exception, referring to himself, and then licks Sam's face like he licked Fragile's face. He's got a real thing about that.
Yeah. No, thank you. That's yeah.
Not my kink.
That Metal Gear Solid 3 moment where the terror.
The fear.
The fear. That sort of tongue thing. No, thank you.
Yeah. But he says, but he licks Sam's face and he says, look, I'm not the only one wearing a mask. He says, Boss Man is, referring to Die Hard Man, and that woman, probably Amelie. And then he says, and let's not forget little old you, and then shoves the mask on Sam's face. He says, look, it's not easy wearing a mask all the time, but now the mask can come off, and he takes the mask off of Sam. Sam drops to the ground, and he says, hey, remember this? And he has the Kipu. And Sam tries to lunge for it, and he like fucking Charlie Brown, or he like Lucy's the football away from Sam. And he says, Amelie's holed up on a beach nearby and says, let's make it a race. Whoever wins gets to usher in the end of days. And says that the end of days make people honest, and there's going to be no need for masks soon. And he says, I wonder if you look death in the eye, will you even blink? And then he disappears, and then we get our title card. It's episode 9, Higgs.
So I was totally like, I got myself ramped up, and it's like, let's have a race and see who gets there first. I was like, oh shit, this might be like an actual like stressful timed mission. This would be cool as hell.
Nope. Nah.
I was also partly worried about that. I was like, how's this gonna work?
Yeah. Wasn't a time mission. I think it was fine. Chapter 9 is my favorite chapter in this entire game. Episode 9
for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Really good. You go forward a little bit. The distribution center is right there, so you have to connect that. And Die Hartman's like, look, you only have one more knot to go, and you have to make one more delivery for it to work. So you rest and you do so. When you wake up, you see Amelie, and she's kind of wandering around. She goes, are you there? Can you hear me? And she seems to not notice him at all. It says there's only one more knot to go and America will be whole again. And then she starts talking about her name. She says, I never told you my real name. It's Amerigo, after Amerigo Vespucci, the man who discovered the continent. And Sam mentions that he thought it was Columbus, but she kind of ignores him a little bit. I mean, again, she's just not paying attention to him in this scene. And says, she said that America was full of it and that he lied, that America is a lie. And then she disappears and appears behind him and says that she's on the beach, our beach where she was born. And says that Higgs could never find her there, and that she says get the last Cupid to Edge Knot and finish what they started, and that she'll meet him in his room at the distribution center when it's all over. And then she disappears again and appears in front of Sam and says there's something he needs to know, and so that she's kept things from him, that she's worn a mask for the longest time, and that everything Higgs says about her is true. She says that she could end it all, that she is extinction, but she doesn't want to be, and she wants everyone in the world to be whole. And she appears in Sam's gun cabinet and can seemingly see him now because they match where their hands are on the glass, and says she tells Sam to promise that he'll stop her and not let her end it all, and then she'll be waiting for him on the beach as usual, and then she disappears again. But yeah, there's a lot happening here with Amelie. Weird shit.
Well, she could see him because the inside of the glass on the gun cabinet is actually a prescription lens for her.
Oh, my brand!
Wow.
Her brand!
My brand!
Yeah.
You guys really throwing it back with that reference.
Oh, that's not that far back, is it?
It's pretty far back, comparatively.
Man, we're old.
Like, that's an old school commercial at this point.
Oldie but goodie.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because, like, you would normally see, like, a slight reflection in those glass panes. But since it's like a chiral connection, you can see Amelie through the reflection in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an interesting but also like pretty unnerving scene, particularly with her just sort of like, it was obvious that she didn't know where he was, but she knew he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of like, the idea of being in a room with someone, but they don't know you're in the room with them. Just
It's almost
it
like they've
struck
got
me
a
as
connection
odd.
or something.
No.
Ugh.
Anyway,
Cole. Hicks!
But yes, so fucking stop. So you rest, you leave, and you get another Cliff moment here, and you kind of hear this voice that sounds like John, telling these men that they saw wrong, and it's Cliff in this room, and he's like, I think the last one of the last ones we got was him disabling the security panel, and them trying to breach into the room, and John's like, you saw wrong, he's not in this room, but then you hear a woman's voice saying that he's inside, and Cliff kind of begins to fade a little bit as the scene ends. And then you find out you have to take this network activation key to EdgeNot Distribution Center in order to bring it online. He says the key is one of a kind and to basically not fuck up. And that the key is just a straight up BB unit. Like it is a BB pod.
Yep, sure is.
And that's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of go and you get that indication that, oh, hey, there's BTs nearby, and you're walking into the city. And can I fucking tell you, this War of the Worlds hot air balloon fucking monstrosity.
Oh, I hated it.
Oh, they're freaky. They're freaky as
Oh,
hell.
they make me so uncomfortable.
Oh, I hated them so much.
Until you realize that you can pop them with one bullet, and if you're like me, you carry no less than 3 assault rifles on you at any time. So,
like I try my best to sneak around them because their basic function is we're going to land near you, and if you get near us, we're going to explode. And that's their function. They're not here to capture you; they're just here to do damage.
Yeah. So basically, like when you first get to the area where you can see them, literally, I just backed off a little bit, pulled out an assault rifle, switched over to hermetic rounds, and just started popping them just one at a time until the area was basically cleared.
I just booked it.
Mm-hmm. They're not hard to get around. They're just super uncomfortable to like be near.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, that sort of like that imagery of just jellyfish, and I think it comes from a fear of actual jellyfish, has just always been freaky, and especially the fact that they're just sort of there. They're not doing anything, and they're quiet.
Yeah.
And this
They're
wasn't the
menacing.
first time I saw them, though. I remember seeing them when I was in a truck. It was your first time going to Mountain Knot City. They were like off in the distance.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
No, I'd never seen them.
really
I've never noticed
and
them
it was
before.
really unnerving to see them, and it freaked me out even more at that point because there was no indication as to what the hell they were.
Oh God, I hate it. Like you know what the worst part about them is, like if they land and you get near them, they kind of make this like weird squealing noise, like a very quiet squealing noise, and then explode, and that is like, ugh.
Yeah, the high pitched thing really unsettles me for sure.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't think I ever heard that.
Ugh. God, well, because you apparently are fucking Rambo and you didn't like have to worry about it. But yeah, if they explode by proximity and not like by shooting them, they make like this like high pitched like noise and then they explode, and it's just
I don't like the idea of that.
Yeah, it's not great. But yeah, so they're not bad to get by. But once you get past like the big bulk of them, you're into like a more traditional section with like the BTs with the cords. But they were really spaced out, and I didn't really feel threatened at all. Like it felt too easy getting in here.
Yeah,
Like that was which I think like it's by design.
I think it is because it's almost like you're being pulled to that location at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You have like the call to adventure has been saw through so far that you can't stop the momentum that you've built up to this point.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you get through all these BTs. Like I said, I didn't have any trouble. It was very spaced out and easy as I imagine it. I imagined. Fuck, what am I trying to say right now? It was easy as we discussed to get through as designed, and you get to this like wide open space right outside of Edgenot, and yeah, that's a boss arena, right?
Yeah,
you know
for
what's about
sure.
to happen.
Actually reminded me of like a hallway right at the beginning of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where you're just walking down a hallway to go fight Dracula.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, so you go in, you walk in, you connect Edgenot, and Hartman's like, look, UCA is the nation's whole again. UCA is reborn now. Even if it not destroyed, the network will endure now because you've connected everything, and everything now passes through the beach, and the beach will keep them all together. And there's one more job to do. Amelie needs to take over the presidency, and that he needs to help her, and that he says to check into his room because Amelie will be coming to see him. And hey, can I say, yo, fuck all of what I'm about to talk about right now.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, let's
go
off, man.
So like literally fuck every second of it. So Sam wakes up on the beach, and you hear this like distorted voice calling his name, and it says, "I knew you'd come for me." And Higgs appears on the beach, and the voice is coming from him seemingly, and says, "Sam, it's me." But when Sam like looks at Higgs and asks if it's her, and then Higgs shushes him and then points to the water, and then here's that big old fucking Titanic Amelie walking up to the beach, and Higgs appears behind him and taps him on the back, and says that he needs to tell him something, and Higgs removes his mask and says he is the extinction entity, but it's revealed to be Amelie, and then it like shrouds the whole screen in red and zooms in on her face while she's smiling, and it like this like tar drips from her eyes. It's the most disturbing.
Oh no, I didn't like any of this
I've
at all.
ever seen. Fuck this. Oh God.
Yeah, when this scene happened, it was just like I was sheer terror. There was just so much and happening on the screen, but I was also thinking back to at the very beginning that the void out with the very large BT that had the hand for the head and the tentacle things coming out of its forearms and the umbilical cord. Like it was, because it looked to be a similar size to what Amelie was now.
Yeah. So you have a lot of like really parallel and symbolism. The thing about that scene was like it was horror in an existential way, because it wasn't like a jump scare. It was just like a build, and it's just like, what are you gonna fucking do here? Like, you're prepared for it. You see what's happening in front of you, and you're just all you can do is just let it happen. And it's just so like the existential horror of this scene really fucked with me.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable to look at. Like, I didn't want to look at it. Like,
yeah, no, I didn't want to look.
Out of me.
I didn't want to look at any bit of this whatsoever. I was not a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you think back to like at the beginning of the game when you're in the cave with Fragile and you see those 5 figures hovering in the sky, I actually set this as my desktop wallpaper today. And if you look at those figures, all of them have like this stumpy arms. Except for the one in the middle. And the one in the middle has its arms crossed. Yeah, so...
That's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, it is. Kind of... I mean, it is terrifying.
And that's the one thing, too, is like, that's the thing that's gonna fuck with me, because I actually am really glad, so Kojima's tweeted some things that indicate that his next game looks to be like a horror game. And that's the thing that I'm like not looking forward to, is that he's like, he seems to be really like, he does jump scare good, but like as we saw in PT, like he's very, very big on the existential horror. Like he's fucking into that. Like, I want you to feel dread the entire time you're dealing with this, and that's what's like this scene is such a fucking like indicator of what his horror game will be like potentially. And I'm just oh god.
I think like it'll almost be like a Dark Souls game, but with exposition and characters, because the worlds in Dark Souls have kind of that same sense of dread and fear. And like existential doom and whatnot.
Yeah. But yeah, so after this fucking shit, Sam, I say fuck this in like a fuck like horror. We're all Nancy boys type way. But like it was well done. It was well done. Like the scene.
Oh no, it was absolutely like super well done. It's just it's so so unnerving. I just
like my heart started beating like thinking about it.
Because you don't. I mean, it's the best kind of scare because it's the one you don't expect, and it's not just jumping out and grabbing you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the realization that, oh my god, everything I know is not real. Everything is going tits up. This is bad. This is real bad.
Mm-hmm. You can tell he gets a lot of like inspiration from Junji Ito, which of course, Junji Ito is in the game as one of the preppers that you can run across. But like, we've covered Junji Ito on the show when we covered Uzumaki last year, and Junji Ito is like the king of like making you feel dread and like scaring you without like jumping out at you. You know what I mean? His comics are very existential in that way, and so you can tell that Kojima gets a lot of inspiration from him in that sense. So
yeah, it's very Lovecraftian, but modern.
But yeah, anyway, Sam wakes up and his room is like freaking out. There's a red alert going on, and the announcer's just like, chiral levels are rising, and of course you can still take a shower and do all your room things.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
But if you leave the room, you get another Cliff scene where he's singing to BB as these guys that were looking for him break down the door. And you go up, and these motherfuckers give you the schematics to a quadruple rocket launcher. So now you have a grenade launcher and a quadruple rocket launcher. So some shit's really, really going down.
You know your
and
boy.
When you walk out of the,
your boy made 2 of those immediately.
Oh yeah. But of course, in case the giant anomaly was not an indicator, as you walk out of Edge Knot, a giant BT starts walking towards Sam, and Higgs appears, and he's like, look, Sam, you gave me everything I wanted, a complete chiral network, and he sings I've got the whole world in the palm of my hands, and kind of is revealed that Amelie is in the BT's chest, and Higgs is like, look, we've had 5 mass extinction events caused by an extinction entity, and it's time for number 6. And Higgs is doing his like rushing around, dodging Sam thing that he's been doing. And he says, look, I'm not talking about the death of a few dozen species, but of all life as we know it. And then Amelie warps in front of him, and Higgs puts his mask on her before she can kind of reunite with him. And she kind of says in this like weird possessed voice that all the knots are joined and that she'll soon merge them and all of mankind's beaches into a single shore. And then will come an extinction like no other. And kind of mentioned that's her purpose. And Sam asks Higgs what they did to her. And she kind of struggles for a minute. And then she like stops and says that the last stranding was what she was made for. And that the first was just a prelude. And so Higgs's mask kind of floats around. And he says that she's the source of everything. Like the dooms and the people like them. And Higgs wishes Sam a happy fucking doomsday, which I loved. And Sam shouts, "Fuck you!" back at him. It's like 2 6th graders yelling at each other, which I fucking thought was great. I thought was great.
It's a very apt description.
Whenever Sam like curses in this game, it's just delightful.
It's funny.
It's just it's funny.
It's like that kid who just learned how to curse.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Yeah, very much so. And like, I don't want that to come across as a slight, because it's not a slight. It's a net positive thing about this game.
No, it feels very in character for him.
Yeah. Higgs is the punk rocker in the game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Amelie approaches Sam and hugs him, and then the camera pans and it's revealed that it's actually Higgs hugging him. And says, hey, look, you can either speed this up or slow it down, but you can't stop it. And then Sam shoves Higgs away and says that Higgs says, even if you beat me, you can't save Amelie. And he said it's all a done deal. And then he appears inside of the BT as well. And it's time to fucking fight.
Time
And I
for
wanna
a
hear
boss fight.
Yeah, I want to hear from you, Cole, because you did not feel great about this as far as
No, I
you
hated
can tell
it.
from your text message.
No, I hated it. I really hated it. I mean, it was a great boss fight, but so like the thing that kept just really just fucking me were the jellyfish.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm just like running around. I'm trying to like run and gun and like, you know, get pop shots off. And I would be like running and all of a sudden it's like, and I'm just getting knocked over. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I'm getting knocked over. And then it's like, hey, you better regain balance. I'm like, not now. I'm not in the mountains. I'm not trying to fall down. This is bullshit. And then I would fall down and I'd lose some stuff. So I had to take some time to pick it back up. And then I'd pick it up. And then he would throw some crazy hand tendrils at me. And it's like, hey, you better shake those off. And I'm like, why? Why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? And then I do that.
Eventually they start
not
shooting those like gold BTs out at you to grab you, and
I
they're
was
really hard to escape.
just about to get to that because I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. They're giving me buildings to climb. I'm going to climb those and get a better shot. And I do that. And then those dudes would tackle me off the building like they were NFL linebackers. And it was infuriating. And I was just so happy to be done with the fight. I felt it's like a boss fight in Dark Souls. Like I felt super accomplished after I did it because you beat this giant ass BT, and it's just like, God, why? Why do you have to use you have a literal Titan, and you feel the need to use some eldritch ass jellyfish to like bullet rush me. And then on top of that, you're gonna use some like golden like just I hated it. I hated it. I mean, it made me hate Higgs more, but also at the same time just respect him that much more for being as like evil as he is.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, I think it would have benefited from a little bit more room. Like a little bit, like even that much more space would have been better. I don't know what you thought about this section, Chris, but that would be my main complaint with it, is that like the claustrophobic, maybe like it was intentional, the claustrophobic nature of it, but I think that like it could have been a really fun fight had it had like extra space. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'll back that up, but I think part of it was also supposed to play into like the asymphosophobia thing.
Oh yeah, well yeah, like I said, like
the claustrophobic nature.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just thought it was kind of silly how literally like it was an enclosed space within an already enclosed space. Like you were in a square with buildings that basically closed it off. Like it could have been really easy. Like you had a blast door come down to keep them out of the distribution center, and you had like a wall of friggin' tar on the other side, and then just give you that square to play around in instead of giving you like 2/3 of the area. It just seemed like, and maybe that is part of it, the whole asymphosophobia, razzle-frazzle-phobia, whatever you want to call it.
The old razzle-dazzle.
The old razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle-phobia.
And just like the artificial walls that popped up that just sort of like were a force field that really didn't seem to fit with anything else we'd seen in the game so far.
Yeah, it takes me out of it, because is this the first time you see those walls like that?
Yeah.
And it just seemed, like I said, it just struck me as an odd decision, because he could have literally just expanded it a little bit to be within those quote unquote walls that those buildings around you already made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a weird choice. Like I said, I think it was intentional, but I think it could have been better if it just not even like that much more space, just like that little bit extra space. It could have been a little bit better.
I will say it was small enough that it really made it feel frantic at points.
Yeah. That's why I think it was probably intentional that it wasn't as big as like it wasn't bigger.
And there were plenty of points, especially during the second phase when he like shifts into the thing's shoulder. I was like, whatever. So I would just aim for its chest, which is where Amelie is, or its head. And whatever I'd be shooting, because I mainly switch between the assault rifles and the rocket launchers whenever I could grab one. Which, did you guys see those like weird Amelie-shaped silhouettes that were coming up to like chuck shit at you?
Yeah, they replaced the Sam ones.
Oh, the white, like the...
Oh, are they supposed to be Sam?
Guess?
I thought they were Amelie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Sam.
Oh. Well, he's got that long hair that's about the same length as hers, so... And I was moving around so frantically I wasn't like studying it, but...
It's topless Norman Reedus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, my. But no, so if you aim...
Still no dick, though.
It's Ken doll. It's a world of Ken dolls. But no, if you aim at the chest, because Amelie is like fixed over the thing's heart. I don't know if we mentioned that or not.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Higgs will sort of like goad you, like, "Oh, come on, it's me you want, not her." I was like, "Whatever." So I'm just laying into this thing.
But yeah, so basically, you have to basically kill this boy, shooting him with guns and grenades and rockets and stuff like that, and it's a battle. And when you get it all the way down, the large BT kind of breaks and dies like they do, and after it's gone, Sam kind of walks through the streets and he's calling for Amelie, and eventually kind of like sees her, and she's in the mist with Higgs's mask on, and he kind of appears behind her and like hugs her and says she's fine and that the extinction's on hold for now. And then he picks her up and tries to shoot Sam, but the Odenkirk kind of blocks it, and you kind of see Lou is protecting Sam, which this fucking little sweet baby angel is like staring at Higgs, and he's just like looking all mad.
Yeah.
He's got a little boxer
That was so
stance.
cute. Like his little like angry fist.
He's like pouting with his like little fist. It's the most adorable thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And Lou is just like, all that for a repatriate, what a waste, and then shoots Lou's pod like a fucking asshole. And I like what they did in the trailer, because in the trailer it makes it look like he shot Lou and Lou is like dead now, but like it was Sam's blood that was on the pod. That's what it was. Like the bullets didn't crack through Lou's pod at this point. And Higgs goes, "We'll pick this up when you're done dying." And Sam tries to go after him again, but Higgs kind of opens fire at him, and Sam like turns around to protect Lou, and he gets shot in the back a bunch. And then Higgs says, "Look, I'll see you on the beach for the grand finale, and then you have to repatriate." And after you do, the Hartman calls and is like, "Look, you have to catch up to them, otherwise everything they've achieved will be for nothing. And then you need to get to the beach, and who do we know that can take you there at will? Well, it's Fragile." And so,
Yep.
Yeah. And so, again, this is another one of those things where it's just like, who knows how to do this? But, I mean, this one's a little bit simpler, I think. Zach, you're laughing. What's going on?
So I was like, oh, okay, so I just got to go back to that first distribution center. And because all while you're going there, Sam is talking to himself. He's like, how can I get to the beach? He's like working his way through the process. And I'm like, I'm sure I'll get to the distribution center. It'll play a cutscene. Well, I get halfway there, and it's like, return to Edge Knot City. And I'm like, God damn it. So I had to turn around and run all the way back. And my skeleton was dead at this point, so I couldn't like sprint fast.
No.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Yeah, so it was just sort of, it was a minor inconvenience, but it was just, I thought it was ironic. It was just fucking, here I go. I finally know what I'm doing. Shit, I gotta turn around.
Did anybody else have issues figuring out what to do next?
No, I just kind of figured.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Fragile.
Well, so if you try to jump, she'll appear. It'll be like a cutscene, but it won't be like a normal one. She'll appear and she'll say, "Look, Higgs wants to connect the chiral network to Amelie's beach." And Sam's like, "How do we get there?" And Fragile says that he can make the jumps as he's been there so many times, and says, "Look, you have to promise. You promised me you'd leave Higgs for me. I'm gonna kill him." And Sam's like, "All right." And she says, "Look, we can go one at a time. I can go to Amelie's beach by following you. And so Sam says, look, I don't need a weapon because he's going to jump to the beach and have nothing. And he also says that he's not taking Lou with him, so he leaves Lou there. And then he asks if she has anything to eat, and she gives him a crypto bite, and he eats his one, and then he yanks the other one away from her. And she's kind of bemused by this, and she thinks it's funny. And she says, look, she tells him to be careful, and he says, look, take care of Lou if the worst happens. And then she sends him. She goes, close your eyes. I have to touch you for this. Close your eyes. Picture Amelie in her beach, and says, you love her, don't you? You love her. And then she finds it and sends him away. And then he wakes up on the beach, and you can see off in the distance, Higgs is kneeling down in front of Amelie, and he stands up, and then she sees him. She asks what Sam is doing there, and Higgs uses his powers on her, puts his mask on her, and asks if Higgs asks if Sam is ready to end it, and then kind of puts Amelie in these gnarly looking spider web tendrils over the water. And Sam tries to punch Higgs, but he misses, and he says he's going to keep the extinction entity safe until the slate's wiped clean. And this is this got me. He says humanity has a few 100,000 years left tops, and I'm like, that's kind of a lot of time.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. We could do a lot with 100,000 years, baby. You can finally take Chelsea down the street on that date you've been talking about taking her on.
Not her sister Kelsey. She's a bad egg.
She's a bad egg, that Kelsey, but Chelsea, she's a nice girl.
Chelsea and Kelsey. The saga continues.
I love that nobody knows what the fuck we're talking about because that was off air on the first episode. Oh man, this entire this entire Jewish mother voice thing is just all without context. Grandmother. When you gotta call your mother more. God. Anyway, and then he mentions Higgs goes.
Awesome transition, dude.
I'm trying my best.
That was a compliment, dude.
Thank you. He says if one of them dies on the beach, they die for real. If you die in the game, you die for real. And then he says there's no repatriation. Literally, this is Hideo reaching out and saying, look at this video game. This was a little lame, but he goes look, the lucky loser gets to put an end to all the rinse and repeat bullshit. He says there's no BTs, no Boyd outs, just an old fashioned boss fight. And then he says stick versus rope, gun versus strand, one last game over. And it's just so much. My God.
Oh, I know, but I loved it.
It was very much like the moment in Metal Gear Solid 4 where the health bars appeared.
Yeah, very much so. And it's funny you mentioned Metal Gear Solid 4 because this whole battle feels very much like the final boss of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yes, which I loved.
So this battle is in 3 phases, and phase 1 is you're kind of sneaking around. Higgs has a gun, you have nothing, and you have to basically pick up the things on the ground and when he's reloading, sneak up to him and yeet him with a briefcase, and it's so metal, and I love it because it's my favorite mechanic, yeeting people with briefcases in a boss fight.
So is that what you would do? Is you'd wait till he reloaded and sneak up on him?
Yeah, that's what I'd do. Is I would pick up something from the ground, I would hide, he would stop firing, I would run up to him, and I'd be like yeet, pah, and then I'd punch him a bunch.
I just ran in front of the bullets.
Same.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was so funny. At one point, I threw an actual PlayStation.
Yes, there is a PlayStation system.
there is a PlayStation hanging out here. It's great.
I think I went through about half of the first phase before I even picked up a case, though. But that was so satisfying. That first time you just smash a metal briefcase into the side of his head.
It took me a second to figure it out, too, because I got shot a lot here.
But it's okay, because there's a bunch of crypto biobounds around.
Yeah.
And Sam, so you don't get this in the normal parts of the game because it does that slow motion every time. But here, since you can't store them, he just eats them automatically. So if you hold square, he basically just starts going, nom, 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 grabbing them.
Oh, man.
It's akin to like when you're running in circles, picking up shit really fast if they're on your back. Because the crypto goblin.
I need to find in the Discord somebody, I think it was Mora, who said something about like if you play this on a different difficulty, they're like he does different things. They're like different mechanics that he does. Like I think it's like a little bit more difficult.
I wonder if you can. How great would it be if you could like do the thing where you swing and you release the freaking briefcase and you're able to like wing him right in the head by throwing it.
No, it was Mike. So Mike, Liquid Metal Mike and Mora were having a conversation in the Discord, where if you play, if you switch to hard in Chapter 9, there's some extra mechanics. So Higgs has more banter, like he says different lines, but he also eats the cryptobites to regain health and throws tar in your eyes while you're fighting him.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, so it adds a little bit extra to it if you're playing in hard instead of normal. So that's fun. So thanks for figuring that out there, Mike. But yeah, so after you run into the line of fire a bunch, was that cool?
I was gonna say also, Liquid Metal Mike, you're a sadist for playing this on hard.
I don't think it affects much though. I think you take more damage, and I think like something with your cargo, like I think it deteriorates faster, but I don't think it really changes a whole lot.
But I mean, taking damage in this game is big woof, especially in this part of the game.
Yeah.
This is really the only part of the game that it felt like it had any like stakes behind it though.
Yeah, like I never felt threatened by dying in this game. And maybe that would change if I was on hard, but like I didn't do a lot of fighting. Like whenever I could, I avoided fighting throughout the most of the game. So I don't know that I really, you know what I mean? Commentary. So yeah, so after this, after you kind of like it does that slow motion thing where you've like quote knocked out a person, and Higgs runs out of ammo and he drops the gun. And he says he's very angry. And he says that I don't need a gun, that I can beat you. And he pulls out his collarbone knife that he stabbed Amelie with in that like dream sequence. And then phase 2 is this like kind of cat mouse game where you're walking around. And you have to have the strand out, and he'll like disappear and appear, and he'll like strike you, and you have to like parry him with the strand, and then punch him a bunch.
And that is so satisfying when you parry him and you basically. You pin his arms to him, and then you bring him down as you bring your knee up, and just that satisfying crunch as you knee him right in the fucking head.
It's pretty like, cool. Did anybody have much trouble with this one?
This whole section really like it put weight behind your punches.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, big time bad way.
And it did that very well in the first 2 sections, but this next one, oh man.
Oh God, Chris. Chris, how are you feeling at this point in the battle, phase 2?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a lot of trouble difficulty wise, but yeah, I did like the intensity of the combat. It just felt like it was really tight, almost like we were playing a different game. Yeah.
And you have to be like very like with some of these parries, you have to be like really Johnny on the spot with some of them.
Oh
yeah, I felt like this was the first like up to this point. This is the first like battle in the game that I felt had like challenge to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and, for sure.
And that's what I liked about it too. It was just like, oh wow, this feels different. Like this feels like an action game for once. Like it feels so different, and I liked it a lot.
It also had an interesting learning curve too with phase 2, because it was sort of like I almost had to get hit like once or twice before I basically learned how to like his timing, and from there I just cleaned up with him.
Well, it's like that in phase 1 too, because like you said, you ran into the bullets a lot, and then you're like, oh, I have to use the shit on the ground to hit him so that I can punch him. Like that's like. it like swats your hand, and it's like, okay, here's.
Oh no, I landed a couple punches without the briefcases first.
That I get. That's fair, but
it made it so much more satisfying.
If you're not. Well, so much more satisfying. It's so much more satisfying. You literally yeeting anybody with a briefcase.
Oh, absolutely,
especially Higgs. And it makes it easier too. Like it's you can do it if you just like run up and punch them, but it's a lot harder.
I felt like this, even though it was only 3 phases, it had a lot of natural progression throughout. Just everything.
Yeah.
Like little sub steps within each big step.
So after phase 2, you get phase 3. You kind of knock him, and then I also mentioned too in phase 2, like I wish he had more lines. He's repeating the same stuff over and over again, but I guess he has more lines on hard mode. Which like that seems unfair, but I guess whatever. Who cares?
This entire last section should be subtitled "Outer Haven 2 Electric Boogaloo" because it
basically because
just like it.
It's so much like it. I got so much big Metal Gear Solid 4 energy out of this one, and like it's hard to talk about. Like I said, we want to like save this for like another episode, but it's so hard to talk about this next section without bringing up Metal Gear Solid 4. So Higgs, after phase 2 is over, Higgs kind of goes down, and he seems like he's down for the count. And Sam goes to, as Sam kind of goes to like punch him some more, Emily kind of calls for him, and Sam goes for her instead. And Higgs gets back up, and he says that Sam just doesn't get it, and then he does some like weird tornado shit to the water, and says that nobody can stop this. And he says, "We have dooms, and it was only ever going to end one way." And then he yells at Sam to come on, and this fight begins, and it's literally just punching the fuck out of each other,
and it's visceral too, and that's what I love about it.
There's like headbutts and like fucking like Sam like they splash like tar into each other's faces, and you have to grab the cryptobites to refill. It feels heavy.
This is the closest a video game has ever gotten to feeling like an actual fist fight.
Yeah.
And that's from someone who has been punched in the face and has punched people in the face. But
once again, weird flex, but okay.
No, like just that's why I said punched in the face first.
Sure. Yeah, humble yourself real quick.
Listen, I took more than my fair share of licks in the hospital.
Listen, Kings, we don't need to do this to each other right now.
I was just trying to bring up a point, but fucking Narc Boy over here.
Listen, listen. Go ahead.
Listen, continue.
No, that's all I had to say was like this is like you guys said, it was visceral. It felt real.
Can you guys imagine with me, I'm going to take you to a place. Close your eyes.
Okay.
And just imagine with me for a second. You're playing this game when it is inevitably re-released on the PlayStation 5. And you have that haptic feedback in the controller.
Oh.
Can you fucking imagine how amazing that would feel?
Oh, booby.
With how heavy and visceral it already feels, but with the haptic feedback. Did you just come? I know you did.
I don't know what haptic feedback is.
So the PlayStation 4's controller is going to, like, haptic feedback is like, you know how because you have an iPhone, so you know how like when you long press something, it like taps you?
Mm-hmm.
It clicks.
It clicks a little bit. The PlayStation 5's controller is going to have that in its controller. And in the buttons. And so having that feedback when you're fucking punching the fuck out of Higgs, can you imagine that?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Good.
Give it to your daddy.
Good.
And so now the entire world has a clip of me saying, "Give it to me, daddy."
I'm sure that won't be taken out of context for anything.
Yeah, no.
Of course
no one will definitely clip that.
Or that.
Yeah. Anyway. You have this fucking fight, and it's awesome.
It's a really awesome fight. Yeah.
It's really awesome. And again, not difficult, but so good. Like
it's
the feeling
rewarding,
it gives
man.
you, like it you feel powerful, and it feels heavy, and you feel tired, and you feel everything.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. The game has like really caught up to you at this point, physically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it feels like it's these two just exhausted men. And again, Metal Gear Solid 4, these two exhausted men just punching and fighting.
Just
and,
duking it out.
Yeah, and it's great. And at the end of it, once you finally get Higgs's health down all the way, Sam grabs him and just fucking headbutts him.
So satisfying.
A couple times.
It's so... oh, God, I just want to fucking... and...
Calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
So he basically headbutts Higgs to near death and drags him to the shore. And then Sam kind of like lays down on the shore next to him. They have kind of like a moment. And Higgs is just like, you're a little touchy for being Mr. Razzle-Frazzle-phobia.
Yeah.
And Higgs just congratulates Sam for winning the game and says that he didn't stop shit. And Sam kind of sits up and Higgs says, get on with it. And just then, here comes Fragile. And Higgs looks very worried. And Sam kind of like leaves her to deal with him. And then he... Sam walks away to go get Amelie, and Higgs kind of realizes it's her and says she left a lasting impression, and she says her favorite line, "I'm fragile, but not that fragile." And then it cuts to Sam, and he gets Amelie down from her web, and then it cuts back, and Fragile says that this time Higgs is the one who's going to break. And Higgs goes, "Oh, our bond's made of stronger stuff than that." And then he tries to control Amelie again, but he's unable to, and Amelie removes his mask off. And Fragile looks at him and says, "Look, you're already broken." And he just kind of defiantly, he's like, "I'm Higgs. I'm the particle of God that permeates all existence." And he goes, "What are you? You're nothing but damaged goods." And she takes her gloves off and kind of places it on her face, and then punches him in the face. And then again, like a
great
sixth
school
grader,
line,
like a sixth grader coming back at a bully. "No, you're damaged."
No, you.
No,
exactly
not
what
a
I
new.
thought.
It's so funny. And then here's where we're gonna wrap up this chapter here. Sam ties Higgs up and takes Amelie's Kipu back, and then gives Fragile the gun. And as Sam walks away, he kind of looks towards Fragile, and we're going to... he's realizing that his fate is coming up pretty soon. And that's where we're going to call it for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, dun, dun, dun. And so next week, we're going to continue our journey through Death Stranding. But holy shit, boys.
Holy shit.
What an
Chapter 9,
ep.
am I right?
Chapter 9.
Chapter
Feeling
9
fine.
heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy chapter.
Chonky boy.
Chonky boy chapter. Wah. Anyway.
Oh.
Wah. Yeah, so like good shit. So anyway, that was an episode. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you have enjoyed.
Absolutely.
We pared it down a little bit for this episode. I don't think we're sure what we're gonna do yet. If we're gonna do the rest of the game next week, or if we're gonna do a bonus like 5th episode covering the rest of the game. But regardless, we're gonna pick it up next week and really dig deep. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode of Metal Gear Mondays, part 3 of Death Stranding. We're getting close. We're hitting end game. And it's solid and strong, baby. In any case, what do I talk about the things. So you can go to MetalGearMondays.com, where you can find links to all of our social media. That's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's everything, YouTube, all the places that we have that exist on the internet where you can find our stuff. You can go to patreon.com/MetalGearMondays to join our Patreon community. We have a wonderful Discord with a lot of wonderful people in it, and it's growing every day. We've gotten a lot of new people in our Discord very recently, and they are adding a lot of really nice stuff to the
Yeah.
proceedings within the Discord, and we appreciate everybody new and existing. So thank you guys for doing that. $1 will get you into the Discord, which is pretty cool. $2 gets you an extra podcast that we like to call the Patriot Club, which is like a bonus podcast that we kind of talk about whatever the fuck we want on instead of just Metal Gear Death Stranding stuff. And we do still talk about those, but it's a bunch of other things. So check that out if you are so inclined. And we've got a lot of other tiers that you can kind of join in on. And take a look at that and see what tickles your fancy. Yeah. That being said, again, as I mentioned, we are going to be talking about your thoughts on Death Stranding in our outer op right before our holiday break. We're going to be gone for a little while. To you, it probably won't be more than a couple weeks. To us, it'll be a much needed month of break. So you can email us at contact@metalgearmondays.com your thoughts on the proceedings. Now that most of us have beaten the game, I can actually read your emails and respond to them to let you know that we got them without fear of spoilers, and I will do so. So please shoot us a message. Let us know what you thought about Death Stranding, your experiences, any funny stories that you might have had, whatever you feel. Email us by end of day December 15th. That's a Sunday. And then we will talk about your experiences on that outer op. And of course, And of course, as always, go on Apple Podcasts and review us if you so choose. Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you use that lets you review things. Please consider doing that. That's a great way to support us as well. Cole, where can they find you on the internet?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at I am Cole Duncan, and on old Instagram at Subterranean Homesick Brews.
Ooh, Zach.
Yeah.
You can find.
Don't be a fucking asshole this week. Where can they find you?
Hey, that Picto Chat thing fucking took off.
Yeah, it sure fucking did.
You can take that and shove it, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I was going to make a joke about ham radios, but I can't find a list of frequencies. So you can find me on Instagram at author Zach James.
Boom.
And
boom.
And you can, if you're so inclined, you can hit me up on email at authorzacjames@gmail.com.
Boom.
There
Check
we go.
that out. And Chris, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Chris Hampton II on both Instagram and Twitter. Add me on PSN. It's proto_dude.
Oh, is that you? I just accepted your friend request.
Oh yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm trying to add everyone that's in the Metal Gear Mondays community.
Yeah, we should.
My my roommate Justin texted me today with a picture of Chris, because I guess you added my roommate on PSN, Chris, and he goes, "Hey, who's this?" Because he gets very wary about adding people. I was like, "Oh, that's just Chris. He's cool." And he's like, "Okay, fine."
we should go ahead and drop, if we haven't already before on the podcast. Even if we have, we should just go ahead and drop our PSNs.
Oh, yeah. So you can find me. Well, so let me fucking tell them where they can find me on the internet, and then we'll talk about the PlayStation. Come on. You can find me on the internet at Sanjul on Twitter. That's SANJUUL. And you can find me on YouTube at bit.ly/SamDoesAthing. My PlayStation Network identification number name, is Deadpool Alpha. Please make sure you put a note, and this is for all of us. You put a note that you're coming from MGM, because we'll add you, but we want to make sure so we're not adding weird bots. So please put a note. Just, it doesn't have to be lengthy. Just say MGM, and that's all you need. So anyway, Deadpool Alpha. What about you, Cole?
You can find me on PSN at I am Cole Duncan.
Zach.
You can find me on PSN. My name is Maverick Rooster. Capital M, capital R.
And Chris, we heard yours already, but let's say it again.
Proto dude. That's proto_dude.
Bing, bang, boom. And we've got one more thing we'd like to talk about before we book it out of here. And that is, actually, Zach, I want you to talk about this because it was kind of your idea. we're looking for somebody
We
to
are
do a thing for us.
so ideally, if we could get the man, the myth, the legend, Yoji Shinkawa himself, if we could get in contact with him to do a commission of our new 4 hosts for this show, and maybe some ghostly images akin to the sorrow of those previous and those who are on hiatus, that would be fantastic. So if anyone has any idea on how to get in contact with Yoji Shinkawa, or if anyone knows any artists who do that same style, that because I believe it's like ink pen style is how he does it. And anyone who can do that, I mean, I know I would gladly kick some money toward getting that done for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
it's important to know that we're not asking for this for free. We will pay.
Yes. So if you are a talented artist who can kind of replicate that kind of ink style, we'd love to, possibly hire you out, like commission you out. Or if you know someone, you want to send them some love, we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah. Or if you just know Yoji Shinkawa, let us know.
Yeah. Also, why have you been holding out on us? Come on now. You know better.
You are Yoji Shinkawa.
Yeah. Also, why have you been holding out on us?
Help us bring the turtlenecks and the Tommy Bahamas to life.
Hashtag turtlenecks and Tommy
Bahamas and the mustard-colored shirts.
I already forgot about that. Well, you don't look at my stories?
God damn it. And on that note, it's time for us to say sayonara until next week. Help me.
Keep on keeping on.
If you know someone who can do these artworks, or if you can do some artworks, I would assume you would have to get in contact with us, right, guys?
Yeah.
Like that's how that works, right? So if they got in contact with us, what would that mean?
Email.
I mean, like they would, yeah. So email. It's like they would have. It would be like there's a connection between us or something.
A strand.
Ah, look at that! Look at
that! No. That's the sound BB makes when he's happy.
Sound I make when you make that noise.
See, mine just sounds like Yoshi.
Yoshi.
And that's where we're ending the episode.
You and I might have like a connection or something.